Welcome to Principles of Education Evaluation. My name is Elizabeth Castillo, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with you. Today, we're going to start with this important thought or quote by Carol Ann Tomlinson, which says, "For teachers as for students, the most effective evaluation comes from someone who sits beside us and helps us grow," which I totally agree. Now we would like to start talking about dosification and organization for this subject. We're going to have 5 modules where you're going to go through principles of education evaluation. In the first week, you need to dedicate around 8 hours to fulfill all the assignments that you have to do with this module. Then in the second module, we're going to have how to evaluate students and evaluation instruments. This module will take 2 weeks. You need to dedicate 8 hours each of them. So in the end, you need to dedicate 16 hours during the 2 weeks to fulfill your assignments. After that, we would have the module number 3, types of rubrics, how to create tests. Here, we're going to dedicate 1 week. You will need to dedicate 8 hours in the end. After that, we're going to have the curriculum evaluation. We're going to explain here this module during 2 weeks. You will dedicate 8 hours each of the 2 weeks. In the end, 16 hours. And finally, we will have in the module number 5, how to assess learning outcomes. We will dedicate 2 weeks to fulfill the content for this module, 8 weeks as well. In each week, 16 hours in the end. And if we calculate the 5 modules, will take 68 hours in total. Talking about the evaluation instruction, you will dedicate your emphasis on the 5 modules, as I mentioned before. Each module will have a total amount of 90% divided like this. Module number 1, 20%, module number 2, that is the unit number 2, 15%, the module number 3, 20%, module number 4, 15%, or the unit number 4, 15%. And finally, the unit number 5 will take 20%. That represents 90% on your assignments. Besides that, we would have the student evaluation that will take or represent 5%, and hetero evaluation that will also represent 5% of your total evaluation. In the end, 100. Okay, let's talk about the student evaluation form. This is what you're going to observe when you enter to this evaluation. You will have to evaluate according to the forms that you have here. You need to evaluate from 1 to 5 according to your satisfaction in all the instruction that you're going to be experiencing by that time, or you would be already conscious about all the experience that you had in this subject. And then it will take all these points for you to focus and evaluate. Also, the hetero evaluation, which is about attitude, will be evaluated as well, as I mentioned before, in this format. And it's super important because it represents some part of your final evaluation. Well, talking about the instructions that you have to take into consideration is the way you are going to study. The steps that you have here are super important for you to have a very good result in the end of the subject. First, you should make your environment when you're going to dedicate to study. You need to look for a comfortable place. You should have enough light for you to see and read all the content. Try to turn off your cell phone or switch the mode to a silent mode, and you should avoid all the instant or sudden interruptions at home as well, because in this time you need to be totally focused on the content in order to take advantage of it. This subject also has specific objectives and general objectives that you need to understand, which because these are going to be our goals. And if you are clear about your goals in this subject, you would be able to understand where you're going. So this is the second important recommendation that we have for you. You need to make this subject look easier for you. That's why we have divided the material into 5 modules. And besides that, you need to coordinate according to your activities or your agenda, how much time you need to dedicate per day during the week to fulfill the assignments that you have. Why? Because you cannot skip any task. You need to fulfill with all the assignments that you will have on the platform. So I recommend you to, first of all, look at your calendar, organize the assignments on your calendar, and then you will not have any problem. The first module, Principles of Education Evaluation, has these objectives. Recognize the difference between assessment and evaluation. Identify the purpose, functions, and types of evaluation. The sources that we are going to have are videos and readings. The first video is Formative and Summative Assessment. Evaluation in Education is the first reading. And the second video is Differences between Assessment and Evaluation, and the reading is Difference between Assessment and Evaluation. So as you can see, they have close relationship between each other. So it's important that you read them and watch them in that order. According to the activities that we're going to have in this module, the written assignment represents 5% of your total evaluation, the video 8%, and the test 7%. As I mentioned before, you are going to have 1 week to fulfill the assignments in this module. The second module, How to Evaluate Students and Evaluation Instruments, represents 15% of your total evaluation. And the 2 objectives that we have on this module are recognize the criteria that must be used to choose an evaluation instrument. That's the first. Second, analyze and compare the different evaluation instruments and how to use them to assess students. We're going to have as well 2 videos, readings. The first video is Tips for Choosing an Evaluation Tool. And the first reading is How to Evaluate Students. Second video is Classroom Assessment Techniques. And the second reading is Educational Evaluation Instruments. You will have 4% of your evaluation based on your written assignments. 5% of your evaluation in this module represents watching the videos and doing the activities about the videos that you're going to watch, and 6% according to your results in your test. In this unit or in this module, we're going to take 2 weeks, the second and the third week, and you need to fulfill the assignments in this way. Complete the reading activities and watch the videos provided in the first week. Then the second week, which is actually the third one in the whole course, you need to complete all the assignments included in this module. The third module is Types of Rubrics, How to Create Tests. Here we have the module, we have a 20% of your evaluation based on this module. The objectives are describe the types of rubrics used in educational evaluation. And second, identify and apply the necessary steps to create tests. This is a super important module where you're going to have the reading types of rubrics and the video introduction to rubrics. And then the reading, number 2, how to create tests. And then the video number 2, writing a simple progress test. In this module, we're going to have 2 written assignments. One represents 5% of your evaluation and the second one 8%. And finally, 7% of your evaluation is based on the results of your test. As I mentioned before, we're going to have 1 week, which will be in the end, the 4th week of the whole course. And you need 1 week to complete all the assignments included in this module. Curriculum evaluation is the module number 4. And here, this module represents 15% of your total evaluation. The 2 objectives that you have to be clear about on this module is describe the main characteristics of curriculum evaluation and its purpose. Analyze and compare the different types of curriculum evaluation. The resources that we're going to use are the video number 1, curriculum evaluation, the reading number 1, curriculum evaluation, and the video number 2 is different types of evaluation, and the reading number 2 is types of curriculum evaluation. So all of them complement each other. So it's really important that you go step by step. The activities that you will be doing based on this content represent 4% the video activities, then 5% the written assignment that you will be doing, and then finally 6% the test. As I mentioned before, in this unit number 4 or this module number 4, we will take 2 weeks. It will represent, or it will take the week number 5 and number 6 in the whole course. First of all, in the week number 5, you need to complete the reading activities and watch the videos. And on the second, or it would be the 6th week of this course, you will complete all the assignments included in this module. Finally, the last module is how to assess learning outcomes. This module represents 20% of your total evaluation. And the 2 objectives that we're going to fulfill here are identify how to assess learning outcomes. And second, recognize how the different English teaching method can be combined in the classroom. The resources that you will be having are videos, the video number 1, self-assessment, and the reading number 1, self-assessment, co-evaluation, and hetero-evaluation. The second video is learning outcomes, and the reading number 2 is how to assess learning outcomes. You will have a written assignment that will represent 5% of your evaluation for this module, a chart that you will be doing based on this content that will represent 8% of your total evaluation, and the test will represent 7% of your total evaluation. We will have 2 weeks for this last module. In the week number 7, you will complete the reading activities and the chart. You're going to watch the videos provided here. And finally, in the last week, you will complete all the assignments included in these modules. The most important is that you organize all the material during the 2 weeks and you don't have accumulation of material, so you will not be under a lot of stress in order to complete the assignments. Well, for me, it has been a pleasure to be here with you, and I'll see you in class.